Hey guys, welcome back to the Book Nook Corner. It's Courtney. I thought I would give you a little bit of a different background today. I don't know if it's working or not. I have no electrical outlets out here in the hallway, so I have no way of putting lighting up, so I'm trying to do my best with what we have. It just was snowing outside. I have a couple Christmassy things on the walls and stuff behind me. I don't know, just thought that it would be different and better than my lady room all the time. But anyways, I thought we would do my 25 books for 2025 that I want to read for 2025. Clearly, there is so many books that I want to read for 2025 that this list doesn't even really chip away at the iceberg, but these are all ones that I have owned for quite a while and that I've wanted to read for quite a while. I need to make them priority because they've been sitting on my shelves for way too long, and I don't want to unhaul them because there's still ones that I really, really want to read. I'm trying to make 2025 the year of epic high fantasy because that is where my love of reading started and originated, to be honest, and I would just really like to continue that for next year. So let's get into it. These are not going to be in any particular order whatsoever. I'm starting just at the top of the pile that I managed to drag up the steps with me, or from my bookshelves and my lady room over here. I'm just gonna literally start at the top of the pile and go from there. And the first one is going to be Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is not really the book that I want to read. I want to get the British versions, which is like a bigger, kind of more traditional paperback size. This is the mass market. I do plan on getting those within this next year. I do have it on my Christmas wish list for my family. So hopefully maybe somebody gets it for me. But yeah, I'm going to start with this one. I do have a buddy read planned if you would want to join for January, starting in January. I have been wanting to read her series and her books for so long. So definitely wanting to start this back up again. Here is the description. The next book on my list is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is another one that I started. In fact, the bookmarks are still in there. So I was on page 83 or chapter 10. I can still remember what's going on. I did enjoy this. This book has so much buzz. There is already, I think, a sequel. Potentially the third book is out already. I know there's a novella, a bunch going on in this world that I have managed to miss out on so far. But I do really, really want to get to this one. Here is the description. Speaking of epic fantasy, high fantasy, whatever you want to call it, this is the next book on my list. And that is Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. This is one that I saw last year or the year before by a epic kind of high fantasy booktuber, and he had talked about this being a really great series. So I did go and buy all three in the trilogy. I think it's just a trilogy. Maybe not, but I believe so. I've been thinking of this. It has been staring at me on the shelf for so long, and I'm excited to get to it. Here is the description. The next book on my list is Never Keep by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. They are twin sisters that wrote the Zodiac Academy series. As of last month, I finished the third book in the Zodiac Academy series. I do definitely want to continue it. However, I also want to start this. I don't believe there's a reason why I can't do that. If there is a blaring reason, let me know. Here is the description. Oh gosh, that is so dark. Hopefully you guys can zoom in. The next book on my list is Dragon Rider by Taran Matharu. I don't know how you say his name. This is book one of the Soulbound saga. So I pre-ordered this. So as soon as it came out, I did get it sent to me, and I've been wanting to read this since. So I have not gotten a chance to read it within 2024. I love anything and everything involving dragons.
Love dragons.
In one of my most recent videos, I talked about one of my bookshelves that are down in my bedroom and how I was wanting to redo them, and I wanted to do a different theme in it, and somebody suggested mythical creatures or all dragon related, and I was like,
yes.
So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Probably will vlog it and make a video out of it. But anyway, this one just sounds amazing. So here is the description. The next book on my list is Legacy of Ash by Matthew Ward. This is a very popular series as well, one of which I've seen everywhere as far as epic fantasy goes, and I believe this is fairly sloggy, fairly political fantasy, wars, battles, all of the such, but like John Gwynne, James Islington, Justin T. Call, like I loved all of their books. I only read one in each series, but I'm continuing those hopefully for 2025 as well. Anyways, do want to get to this. Here is the description, kind of awkward on the back there. The next book on my list is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This has been on my list, I feel like, forever. I literally own the entire trilogy. I bought them all at the same time. I love me a good, like, Middle Eastern fantasy, like desert fantasy. Love.
Absolutely love.
I live for them. Heard really good things about this, and here is the description. The next book on my list is going to be a theme. I'm not going to dig through and get all of the ones from this author that are on this list in the order, so sorry for that, because they're going to be out of order, but like this pile, I'm afraid if I dig, like it'll fall over and go down the steps. Like the steps are literally right in front of me. Anyways, that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and that is the Stormlight, book 1 of the Stormlight Archive. I am so incredibly excited to get into this world and to get into his world. I own at least the first book, if not almost all of the books that this man has written, and have never read one single one. I have read a couple of chapters of a couple of them, but always found something else more important at the time, which I sorely regret because I've just heard so many good things about this. If you guys paid attention to his secret project, the year of secret projects, and the book boxes that he had, and you got a different book box every month, a different book every 3 months, I signed up for that. Like, I got all of his special editions from the secret book project book box thing anyway. Yeah, and still have not read any of them. I'm just frustrated with myself. So I am starting this in January. I do have a buddy read already planned with a couple people. If you would like to join in, let me know. It will be on Discord. So yeah, I'm just beyond excited to get to this. If you have not heard of Brandon Sanderson in this world, dig yourself out of the little hole that you're in. Here's the description. The next book on my list is 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland. And this is one that I pre-ordered as well. And then I just ended up deciding to get the Book of the Month version because it was on my subscription that I pay for every month. So yeah, anyways, I have been looking forward to this for so long. I haven't really heard that much about it, but I just love the cover. And yeah, just excited by it. So here is the description. The next book on my list is Aching God by Mike Shell. This is the Iconoclasts book 1. I have had this on my shelf as long as I've had Legacy of Ash. This is actually an indie author. This is super epic high fantasy, but I'm excited to give it a shot. The next book on my list is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is another Middle Eastern desert type of fantasy that I'm super excited to get into. Every time I walk by this in my hallway on my shelf, I'm like, ooh, I need to read that one. I just have a feeling that it's one I'm gonna love. So here is the description. The next book on my list is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I'm not really sure how you say her name. This has been on my list and on my radar for so long. Like, I have owned this book for so long. Like, when was it even? Let me see when it was written, because like I'm pretty sure 2018. Yeah, like I bought this shortly after it was written, and I'm just so excited to get into this. I have quite a few books from her, and actually another one on this list from her, because I've had them so long and because they always catch my eye and I want to read them. So we're gonna make it happen this year, peoples. I'm trying to really do better with reading books that I already own instead of newer ones that I've bought, at least trying to keep that to a minimum. The next book on my list is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I really enjoy this author, and I've read Malice by him. I do need to continue that series. That is another goal for 2025, is to finish his Malice, or Faithful and Fallen, I think is what it's called, series. But I do want to continue this. I don't believe that this might be in the same world, but I don't believe it's the same characters. So anyways, here is the description. The next book on my list is the Fair Isle trilogy by Tessania Audette. It is actually fairly dusty because it's been on my shelf for so long. This is 3 books in here. Yeah, trilogy. 3 books. Whoa, it is quite the chunker. Fairly heavy. This is an indie published, as you can kind of tell. I have pretty much every book that this author has written, so clearly I need to get to her books since I haven't read any of them. So I would like to at least try and start with this. These are, like I said, indie published. They are all on Kindle Unlimited as well. So here is the description. The next book on my list is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I love and adore this cover. That is another thing that I love, is like any sort of Asian fantasy or Asian like Chinese mythology type fantasy. That whole world has always interested me. So this one, I have this, and the second one, I believe it's only a duology. Unravel the Dusk is the next one, but here's the description. The next book on my list is The Last Herald Mage trilogy by Mercedes Lackey. I love and adore like epic late 80s, early 90s fantasy, like kind of the originals, the OG authors, Mercedes Lackey, Robin Hobb, Jennifer Robertson, like they're just my favorite. That is where I started. That is where I started. I was a 90s kid, so these were all fairly newish whenever I started reading them. They were like within 8 to 10 years old whenever I was reading them, and I just love them. I adore them. And I have actually never read anything from this author, and I found this at Barnes & Noble. I did buy this quite a while ago. And then one day I was at my local Goodwill, and I found literally like 15 brand new hardbacks of hers, and they were all fantasy. They're right there on the shelf down below me. And so I'm just really going to try to read at least this coming year from her to kind of get a taste for her writing. And I believe this is one of her biggest series as well. So here's the description. The next book on my list is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. If anyone knows how you say that, please let me know. This is the Iron Fae book 1. I have the entire series. I've heard really good things about this. It is not overly long. It's only 400 pages or so. I believe this is YA. I just really, really want to get into this author's writing. She just really has a lot of great looking books out there, and I own most of them.
That seems to be a trend with me.
I own them and I don't read them. Let's go, Courtney. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Anyways, here's the description. The next book on my list is one that I'm really trying to hold myself back from starting right now instead of waiting until 2025. Obviously, it's already like the middle of December. I have a couple weeks till 2025, basically. But anyways, that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I know most people say to start with this. I'm starting with this and Way of Kings. Because it's me, I'm extra, that's what I do. And so that's what we're going to do. I know they are set both in the Cosmere, but that I know of they're about completely different sets of characters. So, and storyline. So anyways, wow, this one has dust on it too. Here we go. Here's the description on the back. The next book on my list is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I have this in the second one as well. Here is the description. So, the next 4 books on my list are ones that I also would like to start pretty new into 2025 because I've just been so excited and I've had them for like close to a year now, I think. I think the last Secret Project book in Brandon Sanderson's book boxes, like year of Brandon Sanderson or whatever they called it, literally came out last December, I think. That would be all of his secret projects that came in his book boxes. These are all of the like kind of leather bound, embellished, whatever you call it, secret projects that have all of the artwork and special things inside. And I am so excited to read them. And that would be Trust of the Emerald Sea. Because this is kind of like a special edition, there's no like book cover, book dust jacket that has a description. So, I mean, I guess I can just give you that on the back. But these all came with really pretty bookmarks as well. So I would love to do a reading vlog where I literally read just these. We'll see. Anyway, the next one, I'm doing these in order I believe that they came, is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I need to find the bookmark for this one because I don't think I have it in. Oh, it is in here. Here is what the back says. The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. Don't really know what that means. Oh, the bookmark is in there as well. Awesome. Good job. Like, what even is that? It has really pretty stuff, and like I have one of my favorite bags that I use from his book boxes. Anyway, the last one, ooh, which I have the bookmark too also, sweet, is, I thought I had them up on the shelf, but they're in the book. The Sunlit Man. So this one's super cool. There is no wording on the back for this one. Whoa. This is just, I was watching a video today talking about like the best reading order. Oh, look how pretty. For his books, and like I was just like really overwhelmed because there's a lot of like Elantris and Warbreaker, which I really want to read also. Those will probably just be like ebooks that I get and read on my Kindle, because like even though there's a suggested reading order, Brandon Sanderson has a lot of standalones that like you can read out of order. It's just like whether or not you get like Easter eggs. But as far as like following storylines, I don't think there's a ton that you're gonna like really screw yourself up with if you read them out of order. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Clearly I haven't read them, so I don't know everything, but that's just kind of like what I've heard and seen. So anyway, those ones I might get ebooks. So clearly this is 25 books for 2025 that are physical books. I also have an e-reader, or like ebook rather, version of that as well. That's about all I've been able to read though in a year, is about 65 books. So we're not really giving us much more room for anything else. But anyway, super excited about those 4. The next book on my list is one that is so random and doesn't even really fit or make sense on this list, but that would be The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I did not bother taking the sticker off because I
hate taking stickers off books.
and I probably will get it at some point, but not right now. Anyways, I have heard such good things about this book. I have almost every book this woman has written. There again, haven't read any of them, but this is the one that I hear the most buzz about. So I think I'm going to start here and see where I can get. I'm really excited because it sounds right up my alley. There's the description. Believe it or not, I am a historical fiction girly. I probably could say I almost started with that before I started fantasy, even though I started my reading journey with Harry Potter. After that, it was a lot of historical fiction that I read and started with. The next book on my list is, of course, The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. So this is one that I, there again, have been wanting to get to for so long. This is one that I've heard a lot of good things about, and actually Brandon Sanderson finished out the series for him after he passed away, so kind of connecting with my Brandon Sanderson read along of the year, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a prequel to this, which is called The New Spring or something like that. I do want to read that one as well. Read the back of that for whatever you can get out of that. So my final and 25th book for this list is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And I don't believe this is in the Cosmere. I think this is like a different world of his. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Excited to get to this one in this series. Here is the description. Oh my god, it's so dark and awkward. So that concludes my list of 25 books for 2025. If you would like to buddy read any of them with me, please let me know. Like I said, I'm going to have a couple buddy reads going over on Discord. Let me know, because like buddy reading equals getting through the book completely and quickly for me. So let me know. I'm always up for that. And I hope maybe I gave you some good recommendations and books that you either didn't know existed or maybe will reignite your interest in them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out all of my links down below for my Discord book clubs and my Bookstagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!